Ladies and gentlemen, gamers and non-gamers, esteemed colleagues and guys who want nothing but my imminent demise, welcome to my Team Fortress 2 guide. I am your humble host, Pandemonium, here to impart my wisdom on the masses. Today I prepared a starter guide on one of the Pyro's most useful skills, Airblasting. For those of you who don't already know, Airblasting is a secondary fire on the Pyro's flamethrower that sends out a compression of air whenever he uses it. This one has various uses. In fact, airblasting has so many uses it's ridiculous. As a pyro, you can extinguish teammates, which can save a life depending on the situation, push enemies away, kill enemies by pushing them off cliffs, and of course, deflecting projectiles. Rockets, pipe bombs, and even arrows can be blasted back at the person who shot them, doing critical damage. Now, the best weapons to use for this are the default flamethrower or the degreaser. Both weapons use up 20 ammo per air blast, allowing 10 air blasts without requiring a reload. The backburner uses up 50 ammo per air blast, and the phylogistinator has no air blasting capabilities, so you might want to avoid using those if you want to get good at air blasting. Now the default key for air blasting is mouse 2. To do any of the actions mentioned earlier, just click mouse 2 whenever you're close enough to the object or projectile you want to affect. A good tip while first starting out is to know the range of your air blast. This can be done by testing it out on other enemies. You don't have to be right next to an enemy to air blast them. You have to be pretty close or it won't work. Once you have an idea of your range, it will make air blasting rockets and other projectiles that much easier. It's hard to tell the range right away though, so get some practice when you can. A good way to practice is to just look for demo men and soldiers and practice your reflections. Just be warned, you will die. A lot. But that's okay, you're learning. When you're practicing though, make sure you don't mash mouse 2 whenever you spot someone shooting at you. There's a good chance that the enemy will realize what you're doing and switch to a different weapon or run away. You can use a flamethrower or secondary weapon to pressure them into using their projectiles. Airblasting also costs a ton of ammo, so constantly hitting it could be dangerous if you don't kill your enemy or find a way to escape easily. Instead, when you go practicing, try waiting for the last possible second before you actually click. It's not necessary that you stand still. In fact, it's probably better that if you know where it's heading, try moving out of its way so you can survive, even if you fail to hit it. To get a good feel of the timing, here's what you're up against. A soldier who fires off each of his rockets one by one can fire a rocket every 0.8 seconds. A demo man can fire pipe bombs every 0.6 seconds. And a pyro can air blast every 0.75 seconds. This means you're a bit faster than the soldier, but you're slightly slower than the demo man. However, soldiers and demo men don't always fire one at a time, especially if they realize you're trying to air blast their projectiles. It's also important to know projectile speed of what you're trying to air blast. For soldiers, rocket launchers with the default rocket launcher go through the air relatively slow, as you can see here. However, some of the other rocket launchers are much faster. For example, the Liberty launcher has a 40% increase in projectile speed, as shown here. Another rocket launcher, the direct hit, has an 80% increase in projectile speed, as shown here. Both of these projectiles are increasingly hard to reflect, with direct hit shots being almost impossible. As for the demo man, his shots are about the same speed as rockets for both the grenade launcher and sneaky launcher, as shown here. However, demo men will often arc their shots because they do more damage with direct hits, meaning you will have to aim higher to reflect them successfully. All in all, it takes practice. Once you get down reflecting shots, aiming it back at the person who shot it is easy. Get good enough and you may even start reflecting arrows at snipers. They are just as tough as direct hit shots, but they can be quite rewarding if you pull them off. Keep on blasting and you'll get it in no time. Be sure to use the air blast with other purposes too. Getting familiar with air blasting in less dangerous settings can make it that much easier to get the timing down and help your team out in the process. That's all for now. I hope this guide helps in becoming a better pyro. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.